guys, it's Landon from TBAS-Surveyor.org, and what I want to do in this video is show you real quick how to work with numbers in Python. So we did that video that talked about the types of numbers, and so what I'm going to do in this video is just show you how you can store numbers in Python and then just do some basic math with Python. And this is just kind of an introductory video, so it's not going to be super useful, but as we get into some more advanced math, you guys will see Python is going to be super handy. It's like one of the greatest inventions ever. Python, the programming language. And then I'm going to show you how to do the same thing in a different video in Visual Basic.net. And you're probably saying like, oh my, why are you going to show us in Visual Basic? Well, Visual Basic's a little bit of different type of programming language. And so you actually have to tell it what type of number you're going to store. You have to tell Visual Basic that. Whereas Python just kind of does that for you. It's like Python magic. And so Python's a little bit easier language to learn, but I also want you guys to understand some of what Python's doing behind the scenes. So we're gonna do it in Visual Basic too. And I haven't decided yet, but I might just do everything in the two languages just so you can kind of see how the two different programming languages work. So let's go ahead and open up Thonny, and I'm gonna show you in a different video how to download and install Thonny. It's really simple. So Thonny is what they call an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Don't let that scare you. It's just a fancy name for a program that helps you write programs. Okay, so this is Thonny, and we're going to use it to write Python. And so you can see I have a little sample script in here, and I'm just going to walk through this for you piece by piece. Okay, so and then we'll do one from scratch. So this just shows you right here this first line. Okay, line 1. This is called a line number over here. So in this first line, I'm making a variable called my first number, and then I'm setting that variable equal to 12. And you notice there's no decimal part here, so this is an integer, right? Like we talked about. Okay, then here I'm saying my second number is equal to, so I'm making another variable called my second number, and I'm making it equal to 3.25, and this is a decimal number, right? Or a number with the fractional part, like we talked about in our whiteboard video. And then down here, I'm just doing some simple math, so I'm going to say, hey, make me another variable called my third number, and that variable is going to be equal to, and then on the other side of the equal sign here, the right side, we're actually doing a little bit of math in Python. So we're saying my first number plus my second number. And then down here, this is what's called a function in Python. So these three statements here, what we're doing in these three statements is we're actually setting variable values, okay? But in this statement here, we're actually calling what's called a function in Python. Okay, and so what we're saying is print out the value of my third number, okay? And so we're just going to print that to what they call the console, okay, or the output window. You guys will see that in a minute. We don't have a fancy GUI, graphical user interface. We'll do that a little bit later in a program with a library called tkinter. But for now, we're just going to be working on the console, which is down here. Okay, and if you'll notice, we maximize this and we'll adjust it a little bit. Right over here, it's just giving me a list of my variables, okay, and what their values are. So that's kind of a handy little tool. Thonny, I haven't used Thonny a lot, but so far I love it. It's awesome. And then down here, it's just got an assistant that's telling you if your stuff looks good or not. So what we want to do is we want to run this program and see if what result we get. We should get the result of my third number printed out. So we should get the result of this addition. So when you add 12 and 3.25, that should get printed. So we should get 15.25 printed down here to the console or the shell, Thonny calls it. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. And you can see right here, boom. There it does, gives us our output 15.25, all right? Okay, so let's try a different script. This time we're going to just do some subtraction. So I'm going to make a new script here. You see it says untitled, and I want to go ahead and save it. So I'm going to save that script, and I'm going to just put it right here, and I'm going to call it test numbers 2. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and just close this. And we're going to go ahead and start to define some variables here, okay? So we're going to say big number, okay, equals 100. And we're going to say small number equals 100. Nope, we're going to just say 10.5. 1, 2, 6, 5. Okay. So we got lots of places after the decimal here, just so you guys can see how that works. And then we're going to say we're just going to call this result. So result, okay, is going to be equal to big number minus small number. Okay, I like to put colons after stuff because I'm a Java programmer, but you don't need to do that in Python. Okay, and then we want to go ahead and print that result, right? So we're going to say print result. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. You guys probably hear my crazy wife yelling in the background. Sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and save it. And then when we run it, it should reset our variable list over here, and the result of the math should print. Okay, so we're going to say run. Boom, here's our result. You can see it's giving it to us way out here to this tiny decimal place, right? And then it updates the results of our variables over here and their values. Okay, so a couple things I want to teach you with this new script. So again, this is a function. Okay, this right here, this minus, this is what Python calls an operator. It's like a special function that doesn't need the parentheses. So we're using the minus operator here, and there's a plus operator and a greater than operator, and there's different operators. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is that we're using variables here with these numbers, but we don't have to do that. So what variables do is they let you, these are buckets that you can put different values in, okay? But you don't, for what we're doing right here, we don't have to do that. So we can just do the math directly. So let me show you how that looks. So we can just say result, and then we can just put the numbers in here directly. Okay, and then we can save it and rerun the program. And you're going to see it gives us the same result, okay? So we didn't need that intermediate step, but variables are handy. They're useful for stuff, so I wanted to show you guys how you use those, okay? So in this case, Python doesn't have to store these values, okay? It's just doing the math directly and printing us out the result. All right, cool. So now you guys know how to use Python, which is really groovy, and Python is a cool tool. I encourage you to learn more about it. We're going to do a bunch more with Python. And what I want to do next, hopefully the next set of videos, is we're going to make a little, what they call a class, which is a little template to make objects in Python. We're going to make a class to represent fractions. And then we're going to get Python to do fractions for us. So we're going to get them to create common bottom parts and subtract fractions and add fractions and multiply fractions and divide fractions. We'll just write us a little script so we can do that. And so, pretty soon you guys will be using Python to do your homework, which I think is awesome. Don't tell your teacher. All right, so I'm going to do one other video where I'm going to show you guys how you do the same kind of thing in Visual Basic, because that's going to teach you about programming. As you learn a different language, you'll learn different things about programming. And I also want to show you in Visual Basic, because in Visual Basic, you got to tell the computer what kind of number you're using. Okay? All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it.